Welcome to ComfortTV.channel news, bringing you verified and balanced news from Nigeria and around the world. I am Gold Chemila. Thanks for joining us. In the headlines, President Tinubu swears in new INEC chairman. United Nations commend Nigeria for addressing plights of internally displaced. Oyo government slams federal government over revoked lands. Army nabs notorious terror kingpin Baba Wobadu. SDP expels national chairman over misconduct. Varsity lecturer killed by hit-and-run driver in Kogi State. In business, stock market capitalization inches toward 100 trillion naira. LG and EcoBank partner to drive smart living with flexible financial solutions. On the foreign scene, Ghana's former First Lady Nana Konadu-Rawlings dies aged 76. President Trump terminates all Canada trade talks. And in sports, Governor Alia dissolves Lobby Stars FC board management. Also in sports, Kingsley Ibeh eyes All-Nigerian Showdown with Anthony Joshua. And now the news in details. President Bola Tinubu has sworn in Professor Joash Amoputan as the new chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Professor Amoputan took the oath of office inside the council chamber of the Presidential Villa, Abuja. During the ceremony, President Tinubu urged the new INEC chairman to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's electoral process and work to strengthen the Commission's institutional capacity in delivering credible elections. Professor Amoputan succeeds Professor Mahmood Yakubu, whose tenure recently came to an end. He becomes the sixth chairman of the electoral body since its establishment. Meanwhile, the new INEC chairman assumed office at the Commission's headquarters in Abuja after the swearing-in. He arrived in the company of the acting chairman, Mrs. May Agbamuche Mbu, national commissioners, and the secretary to the Commission. He is expected to hold his first meeting with INEC directors and management staff members shortly after preliminary assumption of the office protocol. Professor Amoputan, a legal scholar from Kogi, is a professor of law at the University of Jos, where he began his academic career in 1989. The United Nations says Nigeria has risen to the challenge and taken action to realize the UN Secretary General's action agenda on internally displacement worldwide. Spokesperson for the Secretary General, Mr. Stefan Dujarric, stated this during the briefings on the UN high-level mission to Nigeria. Leaders from the various UN agencies commended the Nigerian government for its leadership in addressing internally displacement and called for more international engagement to ensure a long-term solution. Officials from the International Organization for Migration, IOM, the UN Refugee Agency, and the UN Development Programme concluded a three-day joint high-level mission to Nigeria. The UN officials met with politicians, traditional leaders, and representatives of the internally displaced in various regions. The officials noted that Nigeria has benefited from UN resources that provide assistance with state-level data, policy, and coordination structure. UNDP Crisis Bureau Director Shoko Noda added that Nigeria has the potential to build a comprehensive model in support of solutions, one that can inspire similar progress in other displacement contexts. The team called on international financial institutions and development partners to scale up assistance for self-reliance and economic recovery. IOM, through the Internal Displacement Solution Fund initiative, is boosting government data and analysis capacity to drive durable solutions for displacement-affected communities in the northeast and north-central Nigeria. The Oyo State government has cautioned the federal government against misleading the public over the ownership of certain government property within the state, insisting that the affected lands were lawfully revoked and reallocated after years of abandonment and misuse. The State Commissioner for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Akin Fumilayo Williams, made the remark during a press briefing in Ibadan. The commissioner was reacting to a recent public notice issued by the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, which warned Nigerians against purchasing some listed properties in Oyo State, claiming that they remain federal assets. In the notice signed by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Mr. Shua Belgore, the federal government had cautioned that any individual or entity attempting to buy, sell, or claim ownership of the listed properties will be doing so illegally and at their own risk. Responding, the commissioner said the Oyo State government was compelled to clarify the situation, stressing that his actions were lawful, transparent, and guided by the Land Use Act of 1978, which vests authority over all land in a state to the governor. The commissioner explained that the 6 listed sites had either been abandoned or left underdeveloped for decades by federal agencies, creating security risks and hindering urban growth. The Nigerian Army has recorded a major breakthrough with the arrest of a wanted terrorist and violent extremist leader, Idris, popularly known as Babawo Badu. No fewer than 37 other criminal suspects were also arrested during the coordinated operations across different parts of the country. A source at the Army headquarters said the operation also led to the rescue of 15 kidnapped victims. The source noted that 2 terrorists were killed while assorted weapons, ammunition, and logistic items were recovered across various theaters of operation. According to the source, Babawo Badu was the notorious insurgent leader behind several deadly attacks and abductions in the north-central region. Troops of Sector 1 Operation Enduring Peace, in collaboration with the Nigerian Police and Civilian Joint Task Force, raided a criminal hideout at Saya Village in Bassa local government area, where 19 suspects were apprehended and are currently under investigation. Meanwhile, troops of the 3 Division of the Nigerian Army and the Joint Task Force Operation Enduring Peace have killed 2 suspected kidnappers and rescued 2 abducted persons during a coordinated operation in Kanam local government of Plateau State. The operation covered Kukawa, Shuwaka, Ganjuwa, and Tonga villages following the abduction of 2 individuals identified as Muhammad Sani and Ibrahim Mamman along the Wanka Denji Road in Kanam. Acting on credible intelligence, the troops launched a rescue mission, condoned off the area, and engaged the suspected kidnappers on the outskirts of Tonga village. According to a statement by Media Information Officer of the JTF Operation Enduring Peace, Major Samson Zakom, the criminals opened fire on the troops, who responded with superior firepower, neutralizing 2 of the suspects while others fled with gunshot wounds. Major Zakom reaffirmed the commitment of the Joint Task Force to sustaining intensive operations aimed at dismantling criminal networks and ensuring the protection of lives and property across the joint operation area. The crisis rocking the Social Democratic Party (SDP) has taken a new dimension as the National Working Committee (NWC) expelled top officials of the party, including its former national chairman Alhaji Shehu Musa Gabam and national youth leader Mr. Ogbonna Chukwuma Uchechukwu over allegations of misconduct, financial misappropriation, and abuse of office. The decision was taken in Abuja at the end of the NWC meeting, and it was sequel to months of investigation and disciplinary proceedings. Addressing journalists at the party's national secretariat, the National Publicity Secretary, Rufus Ayeniba, while reading the communique, explained that the move followed the adoption of report of the disciplinary committee and a subsequent white paper, which reviewed the findings and recommendations on the allegation brought against the affected officers. Mr. Ayeniba stressed that the NWC had earlier suspended the trio, Gabam, Uchechukwu, and the national auditor, Mr. Clarkson Nnadi, over a prima facie case of misconduct, financial impropriety, and gross abuse of office. According to him, to ensure due process, the party constituted an independent disciplinary committee which conducted an investigation. The party's spokesperson emphasized that the NWC thereafter reviewed and adopted the white paper, leading to today's decisive action. According to him, those dismissed and expelled are Alhaji Shehu Sagaba, former national chairman, Mr. Ogbonna Chukwuma Uchechukwu, former national youth leader. Others are Mr. Clarkson Nnadi, former national auditor, and 8 other members for alleged acts of disloyalty and unlawful entry into the party's national secretariat. According to him, the expulsions were necessary to restore integrity, discipline, and internal order within the SDP, adding that other administrative recommendations from the white paper will be implemented to prevent further infractions. The Federal Road Safety Corps in Kogi State has confirmed the killing of a female lecturer by a hit-and-run driver in the state. FRSC Sector Commander Commander, Mr. Tenimu Etuku, who confirmed the demise of the lecturer of the Federal University Lokoja, Mrs. Kemi Emmanuel, described her death as sad and unfortunate. Mrs. Emmanuel was a well-respected and admired lecturer in the Department of Theatre Arts of the university. Mr. Etuku said the accident occurred when the lecturer fell off a commercial motorcycle when hit by a running truck along the highway at Crusher in Lokoja Metropolis. He expressed shock over the attitude of the said motorcycle rider, who reportedly zoomed off under the guise of chasing the said hit-and-run truck. The sector commander cautioned motorcycle riders against contesting with enclosed vehicles on the highway to avoid such unfortunate incidents and save the lives of innocent passengers. Comfort TV News will be back after this short break. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. In business, Nigeria's equity market climbed to a new high, extending its rally on the back of broad economic reforms and improving investor sentiment. The NGX market capitalization, chasing a 100 trillion mark, closed at 98.059 trillion naira, while all-share index ASI had advanced 0.49% to close at 489.90 basis points from 153,456.91 points. The index has now gained 50.10% year-to-date, underscoring the strength of demand in blue-chip stocks across key sectors. The market's advance underscores renewed investor confidence and the resilience of Nigeria's capital markets amid a shifting macroeconomic environment. The market's advance underscores renewed investor confidence and the resilience of Nigeria's capital markets amid a shifting macroeconomic environment. Analysts noted that the rally reflects sustained demand for blue-chip stocks in the banking, industrial, oil and gas, and consumer goods sectors, a trend buoyed by reform-led optimism, improving foreign exchange liquidity, and a more stable economic outlook. The rebound coincides with a broader policy reset that has redefined Nigeria's economic outlook. Analysts say the measures such as the liberalization of the naira, the removal of fuel subsidies, and closer coordination between fiscal and monetary authorities have begun to restore a degree of macroeconomic stability, even as inflation remains elevated. These themes dominated discussions at the Financial Times Africa Summit 2025 in London, where Group Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of NGX Group, Mr. Temi Popoola, joined a panel titled Nigeria's Economic Journey, Crisis, Recovery and Risks. Mr. Popoola noted that much of the market's resilience can be traced to a wave of coordinated reforms that has rebuilt confidence in the country's financial architecture. Also in business, LG Electronics Nigeria has announced a partnership with EcoBank Nigeria to offer flexible financial options that allow consumers to own LG's latest range of AI-powered smart TVs, washing machines, refrigerators, and air conditioners without the burden of full upfront payments. The partnership unveiled at EcoBank headquarters in Lagos with the theme From Screens to Scene with AI Smart TV introduces easy monthly installment scheme, a buy now pay later model that lets customers spread payments over a period of up to 24 months. Speaking at the event, head of distribution channel and sales at EcoBank Nigeria, Dr. Adeola Ogunyemi, said the collaboration bridges technology and finance to improve living standards. On his part, General Manager, Media Entertainment Solution, TV Division, LG Electronics, Mr. Shumbeg Shok, said LG's AI-powered products, including OLED, QNED, NanoCell, and UHD TVs, as well as smart refrigerators, washing machines, and air conditioners, are designed to simplify living, enhance comfort, and create connected lifestyle. Also speaking, Also speaking, head SMEs, partnerships and collaboration at EcoBank, Ms. Omoboye Odu, said the partnership embodies creativity, innovation and the spirit of progress. On the foreign scene, Ghana's former First Lady Nana Konadu-Agyemang-Rawlings has died at the age of 76. She was the widow of Ghana's longest-serving leader, Jerry John Rawlings, who died 5 years ago after leading 2 coups and later serving as an elected president. Presidential spokesperson Mr. Felix Kwaye Ofosu confirmed that Nana Agyemang-Rawlings died on after a short illness. Tributes have since poured in on social media for the former First Lady, politician and women's rights advocate. Her family visited President John Mahama later in the day to officially inform him of her passing. President Mahama leads the National Democratic Congress, NDC, the party founded by her late husband. As First Lady, Nana Rawlings founded the 31st December Women's Movement to empower women economically and promote community development. Her advocacy helped shape Ghana's 1989 inheritance law and contributed to gender equality provisions in the 1992 Constitution. Born in November 1948 in Cape Coast, she studied arts and textiles at university and married Jerry Rawlings in 1977. The couple had 4 children. Including Dr. Zento Agyemang-Rawlings, an NDC member of parliament. Ghana's parliament has adjourned in her honor as the nation prepares to officially mourn one of its most influential female figures. U.S. President Donald Trump has said he's ending trade talks with Canada over an anti-tariff advertising campaign after a cordial White House meeting with Prime Minister Mark Carney. On his Truth social network, President Trump vented fury at what he called a fake ad that he said misquoted former President Ronald Reagan discussing tariff policy. President Trump said the campaign, produced by the Canadian province of Ontario to be aired on U.S. television, was designed to interfere with the decision of the U.S. Supreme Court, which is due to rule on its sweeping global tariffs. There was no immediate response from Canadian officials following U.S. President Trump's claim that Canada had fraudulently used a fake advertisement featuring Ronald Reagan. In a budget speech, Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney said Washington's fundamentally changed trade policy had made it necessary for Ottawa to revise its economic strategy. However, he did not address President Trump's allegation. President Trump alleged that the Ronald Reagan Foundation had announced that Canada used a fake advertisement showing Reagan speaking negatively about tariffs. According to the foundation, the Ontario government used selective edited audio and video from a 1987 radio address on trade delivered by Reagan. The foundation said the advertisement distorted Reagan's remarks and misrepresented his stance on trade, adding that it was reviewing possible legal options. The ad reportedly featured excerpts from Reagan's 1987 speech, in which he warned that high tariffs on foreign imports could prompt retaliation by other countries and trigger trade wars, a statement consistent with the transcript available on Ronald Reagan Presidential Library's website. Benue State Governor Hyacinth Alia has approved the dissolution of the board and management of the Benue State-owned Lobby Stars FC Makurdi. This is contained in a statement issued by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Mr. Kula Teso, and made available to newsmen in Makurdi. The statement said the dissolution is with immediate effect, adding that the decision was aimed at repositioning the club for greater efficiency, accountability, and better performance in both the Nigerian Premier Football League and other competitions. Governor Alia further directed that all members of the dissolved management hand over all official documents, assets, and responsibilities to the Commissioner for to the Commissioner for Youth, Sports and Creativity with immediate effect. The statement conveyed the governor's appreciation to the outgoing board and management for their services to the club and the state, and assured that a new management structure will soon be announced to drive the next phase of Lobby Stars' growth and competitiveness. He, however, reaffirmed his administration's commitment to sports development as a vital tool for youth engagement, talent discovery, and social cohesion in Benue State. Lobby Stars FC was relegated after 27 years in the Nigerian Premier Football League in the last season after a poor performance. Also on sports, Nigerian heavyweight boxer Kingsley Ibeh has expressed readiness to take on Anthony Joshua as talks intensifies over a possible return to the ring for the former two-time unified world champion. Matchroom boxing promoter Eddie Hearn recently hinted that Joshua could make a comeback as early as December against a top 20 ranked opponent, with Nigeria being considered as one of the possible venues for the bout. Ibeh, nicknamed the Black Lion, believes he fits the profile of a worthy opponent for Joshua, given his strong record and growing reputation in the heavyweight division. The Arizona-based fighter, who holds a professional record of 16 wins, 2 losses and 1 draw with 14 knockouts, has been on a remarkable run, securing 11 consecutive victories. His most recent triumph came against former title challenger Gerald Washington in El Salvador. The 31-year-old, who was born in Enugu and raised in Kaduna before moving to the United States at age 16, is also a cousin of former heavyweight contender Ike Ibabuchi. Ibeh, now signed to Los Angeles-based Toro Promotions, transitioned to boxing after a brief stint in football and turned professional in 2019. Within his first year, Ibeh caught attention when he fought Italian prospect Gildo Vaunello to a majority draw in his 17th professional bout, although he suffered a setback in 2021 with a knockout loss to Gerard Anderson. He has since rebuilt his career impressively, with Joshua seeking to bounce back from the knockout defeat to Daniel Dubois in September 2024. Ibeh sees a potential all-Nigerian clash as a major opportunity for both fighters and for African boxing. He remains confident that he has the power and momentum to pose a serious challenge to Joshua and views the prospect of facing him as a career-defining moment. And that's our news bulletin for today. But before we go, here's a quick recap of our top stories. President Tinubu swears in new INEC chairman. UN commends Nigeria for addressing plight of internally displaced. Oyo government slams FG over revoked lands. SDP expels national chairman over misconduct. Varsity lecturer killed by hit-and-run driver in Kogi. In business, stock market capitalization inches towards 100 trillion naira. On the foreign scene, Ghana's former First Lady Nana Rawlings dies aged 76. And in sports, Kingsley Ibeh eyes All-Nigerian Showdown with Anthony Joshua. Thanks for watching. For breaking news, exclusive interviews and more, follow us online at ComfortTV.channel on all platforms. Remember to like and share our videos, subscribe to our channel, and click on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any updates. I am Gold Chemila, and until next time, stay informed, stay connected.